Welcome to yet another video, and in this video I'm gonna look at named functions. In a previous video I looked at named ranges, how we named our ranges and how we could use our ranges in the formulas. So in this video we're going to look at named functions. Now in Google Sheets, this is a new feature that was introduced, and the purpose of this is to define our own functions. For example, if I hit enter here and I say VLOOKUP, you can see the function appearing here. Now this is a Google Sheet defined function, but we can also create our function that we can use over and over again. It is very important, if at all you're using the same function over and again, and it's a very long function and complex, you could name a function, then use it over and over again. And also, you can not only use it in this sheet, I'll also show you how you can import it into another Google Sheet workbook and also use it there. So let's get started and see how we can name our functions. How can we define our own functions that we can reuse in another sheet? We're going to start by creating our named function. Then later on, I'll show you how we can import it and use it in another sheet. Okay, let's get on. Now, when you look here, I have a function here which multiplies the unit cost and the quantity, and then gets a formula here, which is an array formula. So I take this whole range times this whole range, I wrap it in the array formula, and then I get multiplication right here. So assuming I'm doing this over and over again, and this takes me time to always round it up with, enclose it in the array formula, and I want to do one formula that is simple and easy to use. What will I do? So what I'll do, I'll copy this formula, Control C, then go to data, right down here, we see named functions. Need to click there. A dialog opens on the side right here. And when it opens, we are going to go down here where it says add new function. You can add a new function, and you can also import a function from another sheet to this sheet. I'm going to first show you how to add a new function. Then later on, I'll show you how we can import it into another sheet and use it. So let's click on add new function. It needs a name. So I'm going to call my function get total. Okay. It needs a description. Now, why are we doing all this? Yeah, I'll take you back. When you go and type a Google function like VLOOKUP, you'll see some docs like this. What for that function we are creating, we are also trying to create the docs that can help the user so that he knows or she knows when to use it and what are the inputs and what the function does. So this is what we are trying to do right now. Now, the function description, so we can say returns a product of the unit cost column. That is how we are defining our function. And quantity column. Okay, that's good enough. Then the next argument is the placeholder. So we have two arguments. If you look at our formula here, we have the first argument here, which is the unit cost column. That's why I said it multiplies the unit cost column and the quantity column. So we have, it takes two. One is the range for the unit cost column, and now the second one is the range for the quantity column. Well, let's name the placeholders. So in other words, when you look at our formula here, you see it takes two columns, the unit cost column range and the range for the quantity. So these are the two arguments that we're going to give it. So the first argument, we are going to say unit cost column, press enter. Then we say quantity column, press enter, like so. And then we formula definition. Now, how is our formula gonna look like? This one we had copied it, come and paste it here. And then we are going to replace these two arguments. So the first range represents the unit cost column. So you say unit dash cost dash column. Then the next one is the quantity dash column. Okay. After that, we click next. Then additional details, argument definition, description, range of the unit cost column, range of the unit cost, and then give an example is B3 to B. Next, the second one is for the quantity, the description, going to say range for the quantity column, okay? Give an example, C3, open reference for C, then I press create. So now that we have created our function, our next step is to test whether this function works. So the name of the function is getTotal. So we're going to put in an equal sign and type getTotal. Now when we type that, you can see it tells us this is a named function so that we don't confuse it with the Google functions, and it gives you a description that we did. So if I hit on my docs, it gives me an example of what it does and the formula definition, what it does here, and also gives you the description of the items that you're going to enter in this formula. So the unit cost, need to give it the range for the unit cost. Now my range is this one here, and I'm going up to the end, comma, then the other range is this. Then I close my brackets, I press enter, and there you go. So if you don't want these zeros, then maybe I change my function here and end 11 here, and also put 11 there, and hit enter. So you'll see that the result I get here is exactly the same result that I have when I use my named function. So, and the advantage of this is that easy to use. It has the definitions, so you can go in there and know what the function does. And the more advantage is that I can import this into another Google Sheet and use it there. So let's see how we can import it. I'm going to go to another Google Sheet and then try to import it. I'm going to come to this Google Sheet here. This is another file where I'm going to try to import the function I've created in my first example. Now, and when I import it, I'll try to use it again on this data. So let's copy this and put it right here so that when we import it, we can also test it against same data and see whether we get the same result. Now, first of all, if I say get total, you can see it is not in this sheet and it does not tell you whether it tells you that my function is not here. But if it was there, it would appear right here. Okay, now let's import it. So to import a function, you go to data, named functions, brings the same dialog. And this time we are not going to go to add new function, but we're going to go to import function. So when you click there, it opens this dialog into your Google Drive. Now the task I have to look for my first sheet, which was named name F1. That's what I have to look for. So and this is the sheet that I'm looking for. So when I click on that sheet and say insert, it brings the dialog and it will list all the functions that are defined. So this is the function that I want. I have only one. That's why it lists only one. But however, if there were more, it would have listed the other ones as well. Okay, so I'll click there, then click on import. Name functions imported successfully. Okay, that is great. And then you also see on the side here, our function is right there. Now, let's see how we can use the function. And this time when I type, you can see it comes up again, and it's asks for the unit cost column, which I can give it. I put a comma. It asks for the unit quantity column, which I give it. I close my brackets, press enter, and you can see that the result here is exactly the same as this one here. So this is how you can import a named function. The last thing I want to show you, you can say, okay, now you have created the function. I've shown you how to import it. What if I want to amend the function instead of just getting the product? I want it to get the sum. The first thing, it's going to get the product of each of these products. Then afterwards, sum them up. So to do that, I'll need to click on my function here and go and edit. So you can edit, or if you don't want the function, you can always remove it by pressing remove. So if you want to edit, you press on edit. And this time around, I don't want just the product. It will give me the product using this array. And after that, I want it to sum. So I'll enclose it in the sum function. So when I do that and press enter, you're going to see now it's going to change here and give me one value because it is now summing. So I click next and I say update, and there you go. So it gives me the sum of this, which we can confirm by getting the sum. We get 309,890, which is right there. So in this video, I've shown you how to create a function, remove a function, edit, and also import a function into another Google Sheet file. Thank you for watching. I hope this has been helpful. And if so, please like the video, share, give me your comments. If you have a challenge, please share with me and I can have an opportunity to look at it. Otherwise, this is what I have for you today. Have a great day and see you in the next video.